everybody, welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Well, today we got a little ebook review, and ebooks is something I've been kind of getting into lately, more so because, I'm not the guy to really buy a print book and take it around with me and stuff like that, but you can download it to your phone and have everything on your phone. When I'm traveling and stuff like that, ebooks, books on tape, stuff like that, audiobooks, something I'm kind of getting into more now that I'm like on a plane more often and stuff. And I found one this week, and honestly, I was kind of shocked by what I found in it. So basically, let's just kind of back up a little. So I get probably, I get a lot of emails every week from beginners, intermediate, advanced, people asking about steroids and how to and stuff like that. And, I tend to kind of shy away from talking to people about that stuff because I feel like it's like beating a dead horse. Like you tell them one thing and they decide for another thing. They don't really believe me when I tell them certain dosages, stuff like that. So, dispensing medical advice without a prescription is also illegal. So, it's not really something I like to get into, even if the person is outside of the country, which, just for informational purposes only, that's what all this information is for. Always abide by the laws in your country and do not break the law, period, okay? That being said, when the forums came around and shit, I was part of some of the forums, and I saw things escalate towards like the end of me actually getting out of some of the forums. I saw shit going on and heard things that I was just not happy with the newer generation coming up, involved in the performance enhancing drugs and stuff like that. So I get this ebook, and again, I was not expecting much, but as I started to go through it, I started to realize that this was not only informational, but it was on point more with my theories and thinking, and it was very real. So Musclehead320, you guys know him. He's the other half of the 3cc boys with Boston Lloyd and him. You see him in the videos and stuff with Boston. His name is Tyler. So he put out a book called Steroids How To. It's a how-to beginner steroid book. It's an ebook. And as I started to go through this thing, I'm reading things that, some of the other stuff that I had seen in forums, I'd heard around. I've had people tell me to my face these excessive dosages and shit. And, I honestly expected that. These guys from the 3cc and stuff, you hear about crazy things that they've done, et cetera, but in reality, they're not really suggesting that to other people, okay? They're saying stuff that they've done and experimented with, but like even Boston himself doesn't suggest the high dosages and stuff that he does himself. So as I'm reading through this book, he warns about certain things, he talks about certain things. The dosages were fairly, within the realm that I felt they were, and I felt, this is a good, solid piece of information, and it reminded me of like the Dan Duchesne books, Bill Phillips, William Llewellyn. They used to do these anabolic reviews and books and stuff, and we used to buy these pamphlets. They'd come in the mail, and there was like a little pamphlet, the Dan Duchesne Underground Steroid Handbook, and Bill Phillips' book was an actual like bound book. But once the forums came around, it almost seemed like those books started to take a nosedive. Well, the problem with the forums is you get all this information from so many people talking at you. Like, this person says this person says that, this person says this. You'll read a thread, and it's got 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways to do things. And you're like, well, who the fuck is right? With the ebook, when the person that's writing it, you get that specific point of view. You can sit down, look at the information, absorb it, and then make your own decision based on what you're reading rather than have all these things coming at you from different directions and confusing you. If you decide this is where I start, then that's where you start. If you decide this is not where I want to start a little bit like this, but this is what I'm going to use the basis of, you just have that one person like in a classroom. When you're in a classroom and you're being taught by a professor or something, you have one person up there and they're basically teaching the rest of the class back there, right? One point of view, one point of contention, one person to watch and get the information from, and then later on, you do your studying and stuff on your own, which you'd crack the books for school, but, in this one you go to the forums and read shit like that, but you still have that one point of view that you're being taught as the basis or foundation, and that's what I thought this ebook was a good foundation. So I'm going to put the links down below in the description box to check it out. I was pleasantly surprised to see one of the younger guys, I'm one of the older guys, I think he called me old school, and I was like, nah, I'm just fucking old. That's what that is. So, but some of the newer guys preaching the more moderate type way of doing things and not kamikaze. And, it's got a total how to piece things together for yourself and not really recommending things, but describing and explaining things on a legit basis. That's my personal opinion. So check it out in the description box below. I approve that ebook, and I'm BioS3, and I approve this message, and we're